do. Hello, girls, and welcome to part 3 of Cinderella. Hello, Lily.
Hello, Letty.
Hello, Selma.
Hello, Letty. Hello.
Hello,
George.
Linda.
Hello, hello.
So, like the other times, we will look at the reading and describe the picture. So, Lily, can you start to read, please?
Yeah. Let me out, Cinderella cried. But her stepmother put the key in her pocket, laughing her meanest laugh. Then Cinderella heard a knock at the front door. The Grand Duke had arrived.
So here in the picture, we can see the mean stepmother, and we can see the key that she's putting into her pocket. Right, Selma, in the next picture, can you describe what you can see?
We can see the Grand Duke and the stepmother opened the door to him.
Right.
She is grabbing a cane. It's correct?
All right, she's holding a cane, holding a cane, a walking stick.
A walking stick. And she is holding his cap.
Right. So the Duke is there with the slipper. And I don't know if you realize, look at the face of the stepmother. She's like two-faced, no? She's mean, but she's putting on a big smile, no? So she's two-faced. Right, Linda, would you like to read?
Okay. Meanwhile, Jack and Goose had seen what the stepmother did. They took the key out of her pocket and slipped it under Cinderella's door. Downstairs, the Grand Duke watched his footman try to squeeze Anastasia's big foot into the slipper. Of course, the slipper did not fit Drusilla either.
Right, so here in this picture, we can see Jack, who is the favorite of Cinderella, Cinderella's favorite, and he's taking the key out of the pocket. And here we can see Funny Gus trying to help him. And this is the stepmother's hand. So they're trying to free Cinderella from the room. Now here it said did not fit. So if it did not fit, you can imagine this is the shoe, and we're trying to put our foot into the shoe, and our foot is too big, so it doesn't fit into the small shoe. That's what it means there. Right. So Lily, you have to explain the picture.
Well, one of the Cinderella's step sister, she's very angry because the slipper didn't fit on her
foot. Yeah. So we see here one of the Duke's helpers sat on a stool trying to put this dainty small slipper on the big foot, which belongs to the stepsister. And of course, when it doesn't fit, she is not very happy at all. Right, Selma, your turn to read.
Oh. Okay. As she hurried down the steps, Cinderella heard the Grand Duke ask, "Are there any other maidens in the house?" "Please wait," called Cinderella. "May I try on the slipper?"
Right. So Linda, you have a lot going on in this picture. What can you see?
Yes, I can see Cinderella in the other floor, maybe in the upper floor.
Yeah, she's at the top of the staircase.
Yes, and the stepmother and the stepsisters like surprised when she appears, and maybe disappointed also, looking with their silly faces. And also the Duke looks like surprised to see another girl in the house.
Right. So Cinderella is at the top of the staircase and she's looking
Yeah.
down. And she says, please wait. And when they hear the other voice, they all look up in surprise, no?
Yeah.
And the step sisters and the mother couldn't believe that she's escaped. So this was the other surprise, no?
Yeah.
Right. So Lily.
The angry stepmother tripped the footman as he approached Cinderella. The glass slipper shattered. Oh no, moaned the Grand Duke. But you see, said Cinderella, reaching into her pocket, I have the other slipper. Quickly, the Grand Duke put the slipper on Cinderella's foot. It fit perfectly. Cinderella's was the princess' love.
Right. So the footman is the man that was sat on the stool with the stepsister. So he stood up to go to Cinderella. But the stepmother, who is mean, put her foot out so that the footman tripped over her foot, so fell. And when he fell, the glass slipper fell to the floor and it shattered. It went into little pieces, right? Into little pieces. There was nothing left. But the stepmother's plan didn't work because Cinderella had the other slipper, so they could continue. So shatter is to break into small pieces, and it's normally glass. And the footman tripped over the stepmother's foot, for example. Right, Selma.
Okay. Cinderella married the prince and lived happily ever after. And so did Jack, Gus, and all of Cinderella's animal friends.
Right. Now, Linda, what can we see here?
I can see the groom and the bride on her white dress, wedding dress, and the groom with his official suit as a prince, like coming down all the stairs with some
confetti.
little thing
Confetti.
on the
Confetti.
So the paper is
yeah.
called confetti.
Confetti, yeah. And they looked very happy on their wedding.
Right. So this is a typical scene that we see with a wedding, the bride and the groom. And as they are leaving, in some traditions, they throw confetti. Now, I remember when I got married here in Spain, I had a mixed wedding, an English one with Spanish. So they all did different things. So some people threw rice at me. Some people threw confetti, and some people did like a squirty string that comes out of a can. So I don't know. Lily, do you have a tradition in your country when someone gets married? What do you throw? Lily?
Yeah, and in the past, they throw us rice. But now sometimes bubbles.
Oh, right, they blow bubbles, yes. Like little children, no? With the, oh, right, so they grow bubbles. And Selma, have you anything different there?
No, it's in the past it's rice, but nowadays no one
throws anything.
Throw anything.
But it can be quite dangerous when they throw the rice at you.
I think because the bride, the couple goes to a party before
a celebration, a wedding celebration, no? Now, I think that's called, let me think, a wedding breakfast in English. Not that it's a breakfast as such, but I think the celebration is called the wedding breakfast.
Wedding
And
breakfast.
Linda, do they throw anything there or say anything when you are married?
Yes. Yes, it's the bride who should throw sweets, candies, and the nuts and some peanuts all mixed together and throw it to the people there
To the
around her.
guests.
Yeah, to the guests. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but
Okay.
recently they use this kind of confetti and these new things to.
Yeah,
It's
because
new
they do
things to
new
my
things, no?
culture. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they call each year they do something different, no?
Yeah.
So it depends what becomes trendy, or maybe they've seen it on television. So it depends what the bride wants. So
Yeah.
I have to Google it. I'm curious now why they throw rice, but it will be for a reason. I don't know which wedding I was in, and they on the groom, the man, they put money on his clothes.
Maybe Turkish.
I can't remember now.
Yeah, because I know that Turkish do these things, but I think on the bride dress they put on a little golden thing, like a golden
coins.
Yeah. And money also. Yeah, golden coins and money.
I think I was in a village in Spain, in a small village, where they would have other traditions. And I'm remembering a little bit now that the tie that
the connection, I guess.
The tie that the groom wears, he cuts it up into pieces. And then I think people give him money for a piece of the tie, like a piece of good luck.
The tie.
No?
Mm-hmm.
But I can't remember. Yes. But there will be all different traditions and customs, no? Right, Lily, we're going to read this little by little, right? Off you go.
Yes.
Yes.
Lily.
Sorry.
Can you read here? Cinderella.
Okay. Cinderella, just like the other fairy tales, featuring a damsel is distressed, longing for someone to love her. Just like other fairy tales, it ends in a happily ever after scene with Cinderella, ending up as a lucky maiden who marries a prince. Furthermore, she will one day become a queen. On her journey, there of course was the stepmother, who was mean like a witch.
Right. So this is like explaining the story very simple. So a damsel is an old word, which means young lady, no? And it's a normal thing. A damsel in distress. That means a young woman who needs help. Right, so it all goes together. You will see it in fairy tales or in storybooks, a damsel in distress. So it's explaining about the story we have just read. Now go slowly, Selma, because I will stop you here. Right, so off you go.
Okay. In a feminist perspective, the story of Cinderella gave the impression that women are always in need. Due to this need, there are negative traits that are raised. Just like the stepmother in the story, her need for security and wealth made her evil. It is somewhat degrading to women because it gives the impression that women are weak.
Right, so stop there. Now, the other day we were talking about this story, and I think one of our members said something about this, about the women were expected to get married so that they could live a decent life, no? So this is why some people who are feminists don't like these stories, because it portrays a woman who always needs a man to look after them, and they need to get married, not to be able to continue. Right, now if you can continue, Linda. Your microphone, Linda.
Yes, sorry.
No, see.
Though in the course of the story, Cinderella was still able to redeem herself by being brave enough to face her stepmother and taking the risk of getting caught during the ball. It also emphasizes that men rule above women as they can easily choose who to marry and that the decisions of a nation or a household depends upon them.
Right. So, Lily, do you think this story is still valid today, or this was more in the past?
I think it's most in the past. I don't know if nowadays it could be a reality.
Right. So, thankfully, as you're saying in your opinion, women don't feel so pressurized to get married, no? And you, Selma, where do you think this is? Still relative to nowadays or not?
I think in many countries, and there is this situation. Some women think that if they get married is the key to other life. It's a
A better
life.
life than where they are, no?
Mhm.
So it's unfortunately not in all the places, but there are still some places.
No, the place.
I see sometimes documentaries where women or children are forced to get married because their parents need the money for food. So in some places it still exists. Right then, Linda, if you can continue.
Yes, continue to explain about
No,
this
to
thing?
read this part, and then we'll talk
To
about
read?
this part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The scene in the story where Cinderella lost track of time embodies how women can be so emotionally weak and lose control of their actions because she got so engrossed with the prince in that wonderful moment. Cinderella became disorganized. She even left her shoe as she ran away. This incident has created an impression that women are indeed weak when emotional matters comes into play. There was also an emphasis on the social status of women, the stepmother being the head of the household and Cinderella being an orphan.
Right. So it's, for me, it's curious how when we read a story, we don't really look at all the symbols or the meaning behind the words, no? But nowadays, people are looking deeply into the stories and they're saying that they're not appropriate for the way that we want women to behave, no? So, Linda, the status of a woman now, has it changed or are we still in the old ages?
Unfortunately, in some societies, it's still like in the old ages. But in another side, fortunately, some of them could like be like independent and to choose their life and like to be free, like in
So
in some developed countries.
Yeah, in some countries, the women are more fortunate to be able to choose their life the way they want to lead it, no? But as we were saying before, not every country, because we know of certain circumstances. So Lily, if you read a little bit more.
Yeah. In conclusion, the story of Cinderella balances the different characters of women. There was also an operation between woman and woman as seen in the characters of the stepmother and Cinderella. An operation of man to woman was not greatly emphasized. However, it was still felt as the idea was given that women are followers of men. It was also emphasized that men in the society plays a major role in the lives of women. This was seen in the character of the prince and Cinderella's father. On the other hand, it is also worth mentioning that there are women in the society that may sometimes seem unseen and second rate, but greatly impacts the lives of others, just like Cinderella's stepsisters. Without them, the stepmother could have loved Cinderella as her own or may not even marry Cinderella's fathers at all. However, it is undeniable that the story of Cinderella inspires women to be brave yet humble and be strong despite rough times.
So through stories, we are shown correctly or incorrectly how the role of the women is. So as they were saying here, before, the woman was a second-rate person, having to be behind a man all the time. And they had to, it was taken for granted that we're going to get married, no? When you are little girls, they sell you the story of the white wedding, finding your true love, no? And things like that. So it's expected of you to lead that life. So thank you, girls, for reading the end of this story. And I hope you didn't mind me taking it to a more serious level at the end, but I just thought it was a bit different. Because when you start to look into a story, you can see the message hidden behind the words. It's like a children's story, but there are symbols and things related to the way we live, no? So thank you for that.
Yeah.
And I will see you another day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.